So let's go across to Washington now. Fraser Jackson is standing by there for us. Fraser, good morning to you. Has Kamala Harris spoken to Donald Trump to concede defeat yet?
As far as we're aware, there's been no phone call between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump, any kind of concession call. We're also waiting for her to give some form of concession speech as well here in Washington, D.C. Well, when we left the Kamala Harris election HQ just a couple of hours ago, there was talk that she would be back that evening. Her surrogate came on stage and said that she would be back and we would be hearing from Kamala Harris at Howard University. I must say, it seems kind of difficult to imagine that she would be doing that, gathering the kind of crowd, at least, that she had at that election party HQ. There were many thousands of people there. It's hard to see how that many people would go to that kind of event. So we are at the moment still waiting for her to go to that kind of speech at Howard. But I think it's more likely that we'll end up seeing something from the Vice President, potentially at the Naval Observatory, her residence here in Washington, D.C. And some kind of press conference with the media pool which travels with her. So we're still waiting to hear officially from Kamala Harris. When we went to bed late last night, that the campaign was saying that they still had votes to count. Well, obviously, in the very wee hours of the morning, it became evident that there was no path forward for the Vice President. And then ultimately, what ended up happening was, of course, Donald Trump then took the Electoral College, and that path completely disappeared. So there's been no updates from the campaign since that happened, but we will be expecting to hear from Kamala Harris very shortly.
Fraser, this is not just a win for Donald Trump, but this is a clean sweep for the Republican Party. The presidency, they've got the Senate and are on the cusp of getting the House. So what went wrong exactly for the Democrats?
Yeah, well, that House race, of course, is still going to be very keenly watched. Those results could come within the next couple of days. It could even take a couple of weeks for some of them. So the Democrats will be eyeing the House closely, because that will be the one last check that they would have on any kind of power that they are worried about Donald Trump wielding. But I think that question is going to be what the Democrats look at over the course of the next couple of weeks. They're going to have to do some soul searching. They're going to have to try to reevaluate their connection with the American electorate, because clearly the message that they were putting forward fails to resonate. Now, of course, some may say that Kamala Harris just didn't have time to get her message across to the American people, but some will say that her messaging was also muddled. Some would say that she may be focused on the wrong messages as well. There was some polling that the message of democracy and the threat to democracy that Donald Trump poses in the eyes of the campaign wasn't resonating with voters, and that is something that they will have to look at as time goes by. But the Democrats really now will have to look at what the future of leadership looks like in their party. Of course, they have the outgoing statesman Joe Biden, 82 years old, and now they're going to have to decide what the future leadership looks like, because I think it's clear to see that the future of the Democrats Party will not be Kamala Harris. This could be a very difficult thing to come back from, so they will have some time now to reevaluate and to go over things. When I speak to voters who voted for Donald Trump, the thing that they kept mentioning was the economy. That was number one. Number two was normally immigration in their minds, and the democracy argument was quite low down on the list. And I think ultimately it proved that the things Kamala Harris was putting forward didn't resonate with the voters.
Fraser, thank you very much for that. Fraser Jackson reporting there for us from Washington.